Now we begin with residents of Taha and adjoining communities who have this morning taken over the bridge linking the communities and the rest of the metropolis in protest over the slow pace of work. The residents earlier this week raised concerns about the diversion and the inconvenience it had created. They also raised concerns about where people should pass should the rains set in. With just one heavy rainfall last night, the road flooded, making it difficult for commuters to pass. Some of the residents have been speaking to JoyNews.
Been here for over years, and we have all been suffering. And they have given it to a contractor. Instead of the contractor should give us a road which will be passing once he will be working. He did not give us the diversion, and he has blocked the road. Now it has rained. Look at all this place. The whole place is flooded, and we are looking for this contractor to come and tell us something reasonable. We can't find him, so we are appealing to the government and the DC that they should come and see what is happening here, because we are all human beings. When you just cross here, you can't do anything again. Why? So we are there. Even if you come and look at the iron rods the contractor is using, we are not happy with it. But he should just come and give us a temporary road which all of us can pass. Look at all these machines here, vehicles here. All of us are suffering. So that is our appeal to the government. This is not a matter of politics. We should remove MPP and DC in this matter and fight for our right, because we are all Ghanaians. Nobody should do politics with this thing. Thank you.
The bridge plan, the contractor, those who are working there said they don't have any plan on that. And we said the iron rods they are using, they were using 14 to do the tow. And when we needed to know the tow, whether it's 4 feet down or 3 feet, because when you are constructing a bridge, it is the tow that is the most important thing. So when we requested for those things, they said they don't have plan based on those things. So we have seen that secondly, the iron rods they are using, it is a main road, and the heavy trucks are always on this road. So we say we want to see and get the actual plan, and the iron rods they are using, we are not satisfied with that one. And it is getting to rainy season. So we want to get the proper diversion. We asked the contractor, he told us that the diversion money is not part of his contract. So we need a better diversion so that you can now do his work with the proper materials. Other than that, if he wants to use it, he wants to do the shoddy work for us, we will not.
Now, our Martina Bugri has been following this story, and she joins us live with more. Martina, what is the current situation as we speak?
It started this morning where the residents gathered in protest of work ongoing here at the bridge. For the past 1 month, the contractor has been on site, but nothing significant has happened. And the community members have been raising concerns about the onset of the rains and how it will affect their movement. Nothing was done. And so this morning, it rained last night. And this morning, the place was flooded. People could not move in or out. And so the residents decided to mount a barricade here to protest that they do something about it. If not, they would not move. Right now, the police came in to calm down tempers, and they have moved with a contractor to the police station to have a discussion and then give him some security to come and begin work. We are told that they intend scooping out the water that has taken over the road so that people would be able to pass. But as we speak now, nothing has been done yet. And the people are insisting that unless something is done today, they are not moving from here.
What has been the response of leadership, those they are demanding the construction from?
The works engineer of the Sanerigu Metro Assembly was here earlier on, and he says that we will liaise with the contractor and make sure that they scoop out the water this morning so that the residents will be able to go in and out. The residents raised concern about shoddy work, and he says that what they are doing is the right thing, but the people still insist that the materials they are using isn't appropriate for a bridge that serves several communities and houses the landfill site where the long vehicles and heavy trucks move on to each day.
Now, Martina, I'm looking at the visuals right now rolling on our screen. It looks like the residents are very frustrated and they're stranded. Has anyone at all been able to cross the bridge and go about their business?
few have been able to cross, but we still have a lot of people up here. Now, this is not new. Each year we have flooding here because the bridge is small. And so between May and then August, September, people are always stranded at home because the bridge floods. And so this was to augment it, increase the size and open up the place so that the water can pass. But it looks like it's not going to happen soon and the people will have difficulties crossing once the rain set in.
So what are they going to do, those who are stuck behind the bridge and who cannot go to work and go and do their business today? What are they going to do practically?
Some are going back home. Those who are struggling to cross some are able to struggle to cross depending on how much you can maneuver. But for most people, they have returned back to their homes and it means that the day is called off for them.
Right, okay, so for these people who are still standing there and waiting, what's the practical solution for them? How are they going to walk? Are they going to walk across? Is someone offering them any service? What are they doing?
Well, what they are saying that they are not moving. I mean, people say they are stranded, and so they want to see work begin before they'll be convinced that something will be done about it, and then they'll begin moving. But until then, they have sworn to stay on here.
Right. Martina, thank you very much for those updates that you brought us. We'll come back to you when there's a new development there. Now, still on traffic and transport, it's a near gridlock situation in thick vehicular traffic on the Pokwase stretch of the main Accra and Sawam highway. Accra-bound motorists are having to close to more than hours on the stretch, which ordinarily should take less than 10 minutes. The Monday morning rush hour, coupled with a diversion created to allow for further works on the Pokwase interchange, has left hundreds of these motorists trapped in that clog. They want authorities to quicken the works on the interchange to allow for free flow of traffic. Manuel Kranting is coming to us live from Pokwase. He joins us with updates on the situation. Manuel, describe for us the situation as we speak.
Great. So this is the situation, and it's been like this for close to 4 solid hours. We're told that the traffic started building up around 4:30 a.m. with motorists who are Accra bound, some from Insaom, and this is of course the Accra-Kumasi highway. The problem, we are told, is that due to ongoing construction on the Pokwase interchange, there's been a diversion to allow for further works. And that has, and of course, because of the rains last night, a lot of the chippings that were filled have been washed away. And this become a real problem for the motorists who have been plying this particular route. On the other side of the road, which is Kumasi bound, we see a free flow of vehicles and so on. But let me try and speak to a few of them. My boss, a very good morning to you.
Good morning.
Trust you're doing well.
What?
Trust you're doing well, sir.
Yeah.
Well, how long have you been in the traffic?
It's getting to 4 hours.
Getting to 4 hours. Where's this traffic building up from?
I don't know the actual place, but I'm coming from Kumasi.
But you are coming from Kumasi and you've been in the traffic for 4 hours.
4 hours, yeah.
What are some of the things that you see? For some of the people, they tell us that there's driver indiscipline and people are crossing and so on. Is that something that you've seen on the road?
I'm just joining my queue, so for that one, I didn't say anything about that.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. So this man is coming from Kumasi, and he's telling me that he's been in the traffic for 4 hours. And that's been the problem here. He's yet to even hit the Pokwase interchange, which we are told is the cause of the traffic. We'll try and speak to a few of the people. And these are goods-only, heavy-duty trucks, which have been traveling for so long. My boss, Ibi Aboko. Now, Okano, how many hours now driving?
I didn't bear 2 hours.
What didn't bear 2 hours? Who feel never?
If you Kumasi.
Who feel Kumasi? Where feel traffic? Where feel?
Every way, media side never.
It's in media side all the way up to this place. Traffic 2 hours.
2 hours.
Now media up to this place no. Over how many minutes and how do you?
By 25 minutes now maybe.
Now go with what park? I say 2 hours.
2 hours.
It's how?
Can't crash.
Kakra no my shion.
Because I can't see form.
Kakra no see form.
Namazabefu.
I see. But that's any movie kakra into angel na call. And so that's a picture here. For some of them, they've been in the traffic. This gentleman is just telling me that he's been in the traffic for 2 hours. And this is a heavy-duty truck which is loaded, it's loaded up. And he says he's been in the traffic for 2 hours. And he's coming also from Kumasi. And he says that the traffic has been building up from mid-year. And this picture that you are seeing is even, a reduction of the earlier situation in the morning. Well, the traffic built up all the way from the Pokwase interchange that I've already said is the cause. We're told that some chippings which were used to fill a certain pothole there to allow for diversion were washed away because of the rains last night. Now, the traffic has been building up from that particular point all the way to Media. And if you know the Accra and Saom highway, this stretch without traffic around 11 p.m. or so is not supposed to take more than even 15 minutes. But boss, great morning to you.
Good morning.
How is the journey so far?
No be easy, boss.
No be easy?
No be easy.
Where they come from?
They come from Ajay Kotoku.
Ajay Kotoku, but that one's every day,
Yeah. 2 hours.
2 hours?
Yes.
Why? Normally be 2 hours in the chop?
No, because of the change of this thing, the interchange,
Okay, so I mean, as they start to do the interchange or this problem day?
No.
So today we make really serious?
Let's say.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but I pray God say if they do the override finish it, everything will be fine.
If they do the override finish?
Yeah, I should say before.
All right, great, thank you. And so he's just telling me that this is not a regular problem. And, just giving you an indication of the fact that this is stemming from the diversion that was created, to allow for that further work that we told you about on the Pokwase interchange. But there are people here, and let me just try and speak to this one. He's carrying a lot of charcoal. My boss, Nabide nego okanimu.
Abide no.
Abide on the thing.
Every damango.
That mango. That mango obedu hanon wedi how many minutes?
Oh, yeah, around 4 o'clock.
4 a.m.
And you go to the
Sisi I go about 10:15. 6 hours.
6 hours and you go to the moon.
Wow. I'm just seeing a gentleman who is telling me that he's gotten down from a vehicle to be able to take his journey on foot. Now, who feel never?
Me feel adesso. And America court.
America court. Now tonight come away.
6 o'clock. What adesso. My bedu sapema enye ye. Na me sia. Mere nanti wako Pokwase.
Inti sapema no wananti efia ba.
Ma me catchra me no correct trodo sapema. Nia wo de mo komo ni mu be hu.
Na we normal problem every day be I ha na.
Ensi da minim ni enti a. Na nse di abeye tawi sei.
Okay.
Minim ni enti a na nse di abeye tawi sei. E di ne di ne do mo komo ni mu be hu.
Inti na we si anante no.
Si anante. I make say mama means na me ko achimota.
If you had there so now we see. And so this man is just telling me that he's coming all the way from Adesso off the main Accra Kumasi highway, and then he's just telling me that he's actually got to get off the vehicle that he had boarded to be able to take the rest of the journey on foot, and he's been walking on the way from Sapeman up until Pokwase, giving you an indication of how serious this particular congestion and clog is. I'm just trying to, get a few of the, trot drivers who will be able to talk to me. Let me talk to this gentleman. Boss, Bibi Aboko.
Bibi Aboko, yeah.
Now, who feel never?
Oh, maybe me load if you question mine. I may call my son. I said, traffic no, I know the intimate means some me took far my. Okay. And I may find my team you as a. And I'm teasing was.
See, I was in call for Nanka or on Beconia.
Oh, Nipa Guho. But now, because I'm a far on maybe like my quantum. The major money now, and this is me couple was
traffic in our way, Germany now.
Traffic in the major money now.
Not say more traffic, Musa, problem being as a petrol share visa.
Oh, yeah, petrol ni we see petrol now for traffic.
We say no, who see on for fee question man, who see on we how many minutes or traffic no?
Oh, must spend almost 40 minutes.
Almost 40 minutes.
If you
higher.
I'm some
there sanka me to me and take
40 minutes over.
40 minutes. And and so that's a a picture of one of the truck drivers who is giving me his own account. He says that from Amasamai up to Pokwase, this is give or take a 5-minute journey without traffic. And you can see sirens just blaring, and we are seeing these heavy V8s as it were using their sirens to drive away from the traffic. But for those of them who do not have their sirens and so on, to in the traffic for hours, just as you have been hearing in the past couple of minutes that I have been speaking to some of the motorists. Let me speak to this gentleman here. My boss, good morning.
Morning.
Yes, how are you doing? Where are you coming from?
I'm coming from Accra, trying to go to Awoshi, and you have to take me all round.
So where did you do your U-turn?
Just about 50 meters behind me.
About 50 meters? Or how long has it taken you from 50 meters up until this point?
Just about 20 minutes to do 50.
And that's in 50 meters. And so that's the account of the gentleman. He seems to be in a hurry, and as the traffic is flowing, in bits, you're seeing a lot of them trying to race off and move out of the traffic. So essentially, this is how, serious it is. And I can confirm to you that this is actually a reduction of the earlier situation. Well, for the goods only, heavy duty truck. He says he's been in the traffic for 6 hours. He's been carrying these bags of charcoal from Damango, and just from the Insawam stretch up until here, he spent 6 hours. And that is being the problem over here. And so generally we're trying to, but we're seeing some people also cashing in, on the traffic. And as a lot of the vehicles are, locked up. Madam, I say traffic where they are. Wow. I'm out to meet on them. What do you camera?
Yeah, and Taddy.
A chippy, I'm on Taddy.
The was a cordia and a Taddy and a
common man on motor.
I corner Taddy, a chippy and Taddy.
It's a more grammar person traffic in the
a chippy, I am pet. I said the air condia.
This is a normal thought, and pay your motor.
Air corner de tonnet, a piece of party and ento.
And upon a chip, and no be anto.
Toshi, say I could de. Okay,
I see. And so, okay. All right. Okay. So that's one of the folks who, one of the hawkers on the road, just giving me an account of how, debilitating the situation is, not only for the motorists, but also for day hawkers who, derive their livelihoods from selling on the streets. He tells me that when the traffic is, massed up like that and the place is congested, the folks don't like to buy. And that's for them a real challenge. They're hoping that the flow begins to, easily move around so that people will buy. And that's the account he gives to me. And so we're just trying to, get a bit closer to the Pokwase interchange. And to just give you an idea of what's been happening, so I've seen a lot of vehicles that, have their engines overheating. Right. And so some are parked by the site, and you're seeing a lot of the vehicles they're
right.
Taking down, and that, it's
Right, Manuel, we will come back to you later. We are very curious, especially to see if there are any officials there and what they are doing about the diversions that they were supposed to have created, and the situation at where exactly we have the epicenter of that traffic, where the traffic is beginning from, whether it's a broken down truck or it's a pile of sand or chips, which has been redirected. We will move to other stories in the meantime, because Ghana has recorded a significant drop in active COVID-19 cases between February and April 2021. That's from over 8,000 to less than 1,500. Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Patrick Kumar-Boaje, is attributing the significant reduction to the vaccination exercise. According to him, the number of Ghanaians taking the safety protocol seriously went up to 52% when the vaccination started. This was key in his update to the press Sunday afternoon.
When you get to the Kotoka International Airport, which is a very major area of preventing importation of cases, we have so far tested about 1,400. We have recorded 1,435 cases since we started on the 1st of September last year. Majority of them are non-Ghanaian citizens. Males outnumber 63% of that. We've done 233,000 tests on arrival since we started, with a cumulative positivity of 0.61%, and so it's not as high as the local community ones. But as you can see in the next slide, since January last year, our numbers that is being required at the airport has significantly reduced, averaging around 90s for every month. Around the Easter, we had a few issues. But that is not to say that we are out of the woods. We still have significant threats, especially with the third waves in Europe, the rising cases in India, Brazil, among others. These are also poses a threat to our cases, so we need to work very hard to prevent them, and that is why the work at the airport remains very, very significant, especially with the advent of new variants, which we may not know how the Ghanaian population will handle that. So the positivity rate at the airport has significantly reduced, but there's a slight rise, and I think that's all because of that. We have received a total of 966,850 vaccines, 600,000 from the COVAX facility, 50,000 from as a donation from the Indian government. We have 165,000 from MTN Africa, and then 149,000 as a second dose also from MTN Africa, bringing the total about 315,000 from the MTN group. Based on some of the WHO recommendations how to deploy AstraZeneca, the recommendation is that it has to be the dosage of between 8 to 12 weeks interval doses. That is, as far as vaccination is concerned, what we have most important is the minimum time within which a second shot or booster dose can be given. If you do it before that minimum date, you will not get any benefit. But sometimes the longer you wait, it still doesn't matter that you can still have your second shot and get your booster dose build up. The WHO have done a lot of studies and has also shown that number one is that if you give it before 4 weeks or before 2 weeks, there's virtually no benefit. But between 8 and 12 weeks is the best time to give. Even then, you would have lost some percentage of your antibodies. It's still effective enough to protect you. What is the efficacy of one dose? According to the studies that have been done globally and around, it protects you about 76% protection for over about 90 days, which coincide with the 12 weeks we are talking about. But that's not to say second dose is not important. And so, given the vaccine availability, that is why we are now trying to shift it to the 12 weeks. But as vaccines are made available, like I said, the earliest is the 8 weeks, and that you'll be giving your vaccination. There are significant efforts being made, and we have some assurance from COVAX that by May we'll get vaccination, and if we get our vaccine in May, we'll be able to do our second doses and as a service, you are more concerned with having more people with the first dose. Well, that's what can also cause the distance. But we've got enough, and there are also bilateral arrangements that are bringing in other COVAX vaccines.
You're live on News Desk. Meanwhile, the country has had to discard thousands of expired vaccines as at last Friday. This is according to the Ghana Health Service, and it is mainly due to poor patronage of the rollout in the northern region. That has also been addressed by Dr. Kuma Boaje.
It has been the story that we had thousands of vaccines expiring in some regions. The truth of the matter is that the last 115,000 cases vaccines that were received, the second one we received on the 30th of March. The expiry date was on the 13th of April. So that means that by the time we offloaded and distributed to the region, we started distribution on Good Friday. That is when vaccines were moving into the region to ensure that they are used before they expire. All regions were able to use it except for 480 doses that could not be used in Northern region and 100 doses in OT. That is 48 bottles in Northern region and 10 bottles in that. If you look at the wastage, that's quite low. And so the numbers are not so, but looking at the time frame that we had, I think we should congratulate the API program, the public health, and all the people in the region for the sterling work they did to ensure that the vaccines were given to people. Some of them were going to churches, going to chiefs' palaces to make sure that people who deserve the vaccines receive it. The total uploaded number of vaccines in our database is 783,560. But we have done more than about 850,000 already. As they continue to synchronize the data, the number will go up.
Dr. Franklin Esedebekwe has joined us. Good morning, Doc. How did this happen? Why were the vaccines not patronized by the people?
Why were
the vaccines not patronized by the people? Why were they not given out?
Thank you very much. So, I think that let me use this opportunity to appreciate the health workers and the Ghanaians. You see, if we want to look at the vaccine rollout in the country, there were, let's say, two main batches. So there was the AstraZeneca type that came from India, that is 700,000. That batch is supposed to expire in June, July. So that was what that was started. That one was mainly used in East Africa, Ashanti, and then a little part of Central Africa. Then we had this allocation of 165,000 from Africa medical supplies through MP and Africa. So that one came, and the idea was that let's use that quantum for health workers across the whole country. Then a few days later, we had this allocation only from African medical supplies. But when it came, the documentation was not very complete. So we had to wait for some time to get it complete. But let me, unfortunately for us, these vaccines that came late was also supposed to expire on the 13th of April. So we had to mobilize our team as much as possible to make sure that we deploy. And let me say that we had to go beyond our original schedule of, let's say, focusing on health workers. So let's say, let's get the whole population on board. So you realize you have to go to churches, you have to go to the mosque. Every person that was supposed to get the vaccine was actually made effort to arrive at. So as was said by DJ, I think at the end of the exercise, we had about 48 vials, about 480 doses that we could not give. But I want to put on record that there's a country that even actually declined to get the vaccine when they had, because if we look at the time allocated to get the vaccine deployed, they couldn't. So they declined to pick up the vaccine. But we said that we have a robust management system program in place to can deploy it. So that's why we're able to deploy that large quantity of vaccines in that short period of time.
Right, but it is still a point, Dr. Esedebekwe, that we have had to, unfortunately, waste some of the vaccines.
No, we don't. I won't say. You see, I think that what I'm going to put on record is that, as I said, if you have a country that decides that they cannot deploy. You see, one of the things that Ghana was the first country that had the COVAX facility was because of the robustness of our EPR system. And that was the reason why we were able to deploy that. So in total, if you look at it in total, we were able to deploy maybe over 97% or over 98% of the vaccines within that short period of time. So you cannot get it wholly 100%, but we were able to do as much as we were supposed to do within that limited time constraint.
But then this isn't just any vaccine, is it? This is a vaccine that is in short supply across the world. And that is why, as at now, when we should have had some 2 million vaccines, we still have some 900,000 doses given out. So for us to lose some, is no one being held responsible, Dr. Bekoya?
No. You see, I think that we need to also look at the narrative in a different. If you look at vaccine delivery, you normally get wastages of about 5%. This one, if you look at it in total sense, our wastage is around 2%. As I said, our team, we need to somehow commend the team for the effort. I mean, if you look at a vaccine that comes and within a short period of time, as much as possible, the population is told. I mean, it needs to be commended. I want to also say that it is not that every Ghanaian is also so free to get the vaccine. We need to also make sure we encourage them. So that's why we want to use this opportunity to also get the Ghanaian to appreciate the fact that these vaccines are safe, and then they are there for you. So we have to also make sure we go to churches. It was not so easy that people are just lined up and get the vaccine. We also have to mobilize them. So those are all processes that we have to do. As I said, getting it done in that period of time, I think that it is something that the health system did the very best of.
How much has been dedicated to education of the public, Dr. Isedu? How much money?
Money?
Yeah.
I think I can't say it offhand, but I think that even this, I don't think we are paying you your station, but you're also trying to do it. So
yeah, we do that a lot. There are lots of private campaigns. I just wanted to know how much government is deliberately dedicating to this, even as the Ghana Health Service.
I want to say that if you look at the whole deployment plan, we are putting 51.6 million as our plan, and there are several components of the plan. So off the top of my head, I can't say how much of it is for communication, but there are key players involved in the communication. We have the Ghana Health Service, we have NCC, we have the Information Service Department, we have the civil society organization. So there are several people who are all trying to do. But let me also say that before we started vaccination, we had a vaccine hesitancy of more than 6%. Now the last count it has come to around 10%. So it tells you that clearly there are some Ghanaians who are still hesitant. And that's why we think that we should use the opportunity to get them all involved.
Right, Dr. Isedu, thank you very much for joining us this morning. You're live on Joy News Desk. We stay in the subject of COVID-19 and vaccines because we know that Dr. Patrick Kumar-Boaji, who is Director General of the Ghana Health Service, also mentioned that the time frame for the second dose of the vaccines for those who have received the first dose has been moved from 8 weeks to 12 weeks. This morning, we spoke to virologist Dr. Michael Owusu, who said that as much as the extension of the time frame is not problematic in itself, the delivery of the vaccine must be done quickly, else the disease itself could mutate, like it did in South Africa and England.
From my perspective as a virologist, and the other thing that we hear is that when people take the first dose, they may have some form of partial immunity from the first primary memory cells that will be boosted against this particular antigen or virus that is introduced. So if you have partial immunity, what happens is that you are not adequately protected. So some of these people may act as possible reservoirs, which may encourage possible mutant strains of viruses to re-emerge. That is the fear that those of us who study this will always, because it is better to have people that are naive to the vaccines and wait for an appropriate time for them to take it, rather than giving them a first dose and then they are not able to get it. So if they are virus, how will the immune system play out, and what kind of mutants may emerge? These are areas that it's not clear, but anytime you talk to people who study virus, mutants, mutations, the fear is that, well, people should be adequately protected, but if they are partially protected, there is the fear that some of these can happen.
You're live on Joy News Desk. We move on the subject of COVID-19, and lawyer for Ghanaian actress Rosamund Brown, aka Ekwapim Polo, who is serving a 3-month jail term for posing nude with her son on social media, Andrew Votia, says the Attorney General Godfred Yeboah-Dame has personally expressed support for the appeal process, which they are kickstarting this morning. He says Mr. Dami agrees that the sentence is too harsh for the crime Ms. Brown pled guilty to. The actress's sentence has been described as harsh by sections of the public, especially on social media, who say she should be allowed to go home and take care of her son. Though her lawyer says she's in high spirits, he says they are appealing the process to have the sentence reduced or changed to a non-custodial one. He spoke to us on Prime Morning on Joy Prime TV today. My first question to him was how Ms. Brown has been holding up since she was sentenced.
As I visited yesterday, she's cool. She's in high spirits.
She's in high spirits?
Yes, please.
She's at Anchor 4 now, is she not?
No, please. She's still in Accra. They'll be conducting a COVID test on her today. That'll come, will determine where to send her.
Okay.
Was she allowed to see her son before she was remanded into custody?
Not at all.
How's she taking that?
Pardon me?
How's she taking that? Is she missing her son?
Well, I got a psychologist on Friday. But on Saturday, the psychologist was able to calm her down. Well, yesterday, Sunday, leaving the school police station around 4 o'clock. She's doing very, very well.
Great. There seems to be a bit of a social media campaign. People are raising funds for her. People are calling for her to be freed. Does she know of this? And what's her reaction to it?
Yeah, yesterday she was telling me friends are looking to visit her, and they told me that John Dumolo and some other celebrities are at the forefront doing such campaign for her. But I explained to her that it's only the prerogative of the president at this moment that can see her. While we think about the we have far this morning. I have to say, and for the first time to media this morning, that the Honorable Attorney General himself, Dr. Dami, called me personally to express his support on behalf of the cabinet on the appeal I intend filing this morning and the motion for bill pending appeal. He has my support. As when I hang out right now, I am going to the High Court to file those processes immediately.
Okay.
So that's the news that I have for.
When did he call you?
Yesterday around 4 o'clock, I had a call from him, and this morning I also had a call from him a little while ago.
How important is it that the Attorney General is calling to express his support for you?
Well, sir, it is up to you guys to call him to confirm or deny whatever I just said. No, it will be better if you can place a call to him right now.
We'll do that. We'll do that. But I'm saying that how important is it for your case that the Attorney General is calling?
He's also on the view that the 3 months, the 90-day custodial sentence is a bit harsh because the same child that the law tries to protect, you put on the scale now, is the child worse off or better off after this 90-day sentence? You know, is the child better off or worse? You know, the law intends to protect the child. That's why Papa was taken to court. Now she had a 90-day custodial sentence. So is the child worse off or better? So maybe they also on the view that the 90 days is a bit harsh.
Okay. Right.
Well, how's the child though? Where is he?
Yeah, the child is with me.
He's with you?
Yes, please.
Is he quite aware of what's going on and how he's taking it?
I took him to my outside, I call it my outside residence. I have a house that holds about 5 orphans. And so they are playing around my compound, so he doesn't know what was going on. The only thing he has here, I saw much led away. Where is he going? So mom is going to do some acting work, actress is going to act somewhere in Accra. So I get the impression that what was happening is part of the role that she's conducting. So the son thinks the mother is acting.
Okay, I'll still stay with you, but why with you and not the family? Why is the son with you and not with Rosamond's family? Is there anything special?
Well, I expect to do that, but maybe perhaps I have a better facility to take care of him.
You're live on Joy News Desk with me, Daniel Daze. Coming up in business, Ghana records $2.7 billion in foreign investments last year alone.
279 FDI projects with a total estimated investment value of about $2.7 billion were recorded for the Republic of Ghana.
More on that after this.
Hi there, welcome to Business. My name is Darryl Kwao. Ghana recorded $2.7 billion in foreign investments last year. Out of that, $2.65 billion was foreign direct investment. Let's hear from Information Minister Kojo Ponkuma, who says this signifies that Ghana is an attractive destination for investors.
Last year, from January to December 2020, despite the pandemic, 279 FDI projects with a total estimated investment value of about $2.7 billion were recorded for the Republic of Ghana. The FDI component, the one coming from abroad, was about $2.65 billion, and then about $145 million from the local market. Now, the FDI value of 2.6 is about almost 140% increase over the figure recorded in the year 2019. And we believe it is because of the gradual improvements we continue to make in the economic space here in Ghana, despite the challenges that we have around us, and even in particular the challenges of the year 2020. If you look at the GIPC presentation that we flagged on the screen, and if we can just open it up a little bit, about 184 of those investments were in the area of services, 57 of them in manufacturing, 15 export trade, general trading was about 10, and the rest followed from there.
Now, the Institute of Chartered Accountants Ghana says it would not relent in its quest to sanction accountants engaged in unethical practices. According to the president of the association, Professor Williams Atwilik, the association will continue to name and shame, as well as withdraw the certificates of members who are found culpable, a move he believes will serve as a deterrent in the financial sector. He spoke to Joy Business at the Institute's 36th graduation and admission ceremony held in Accra.
The ceremony formalized the admission of new members into the fold of the Institute's existing membership and provided a platform to award certificates to those who have qualified after successfully passing all 3 levels of the Chartered Accountants Professional Examinations, whilst others have met the requirements via an assessment of training they had received at equivalent professional accountancy bodies. In an interview with Joy Business, President of the Institute of Chartered Accountants Ghana, Professor Williams Atwilik, says his outfit will continue to apply severe sanctions against members engaged in unprofessional accounting practices.
What we haven't done in the past is to issue out public statements about people we have sanctioned. We've withdrawn certificates, we have suspended people, and particularly those who practice. We've issued all kinds of fines and penalties, so we've been doing that.
So about how many cases are we talking about?
Quite a number. Over the years, we've done quite a number, so it's not just one. We have had to withdraw certificates of quite of a number of our members, and we have had to. The case of the practice involved in the banking crisis is immediately comes to mind. So we've done a couple of disciplinary processes.
In all, 425 qualified accountants and 105 chartered diplomats were awarded certificates, whereas 421 new members were admitted into the institute after satisfying specific qualification criteria.
For CA level 3, November 2020 examinations
Bella Deborah Azika, a female alumnus of the University of Cape Coast, was crowned the overall best graduating candidate. The latest recognition puts to 2 the number of times Bella has been awarded overall best student at ISAC graduation ceremony. She was the overall best graduating candidate in 2020 Level 2. In an interview, she admonished accountants to uphold integrity in their profession.
The Institute of Chartered Accountants Ghana, our motto is integrity. And I believe if you have that, you wouldn't really go into these things. I don't know the motive for which people do things like that. But what I would say is let's hold that word integrity in high esteem, because what you do when nobody is watching is what matters most. And even if you're a Christian, you're a Muslim or any other thing, we all believe that there is life after death, right? So even if it's not all about here, there is somewhere else. So what I would say is we should all hold that word integrity and high esteem and try our best. I know it's not easy, but put in the effort, and by the grace of God, we can without involving in those activities.
Ernest Ajiman emerged overall best candidate for Level 1, whereas Michael Darko emerged the overall best candidate for Level 2 in the November 2020 CA professional examinations.
All right, that's it for business. More news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. Up next, sports.